Hey guys, this is Chetan for Gizmo Times and this is the speed test comparison of the Poco X3 smartphone with the Realme 7. The Poco X3 comes with the world's first, this is actually the world's first smartphone to have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 732G processor. At the same time, the Realme 7 isn't anywhere far. This is the world's first smartphone to have the Helio G95 processor. Both have the world's first chipset presence in them, and this is the 6GB RAM variant, and on the other side the Realme 7 that we have has 8GB of RAM. So that's one difference here. With the RAM we don't have the same variants, of course, so we'll be doing the judgment based on that. And to give you the just a quick look at what we have in terms of connectivity, airplane mode on both and on the same Wi-Fi here. Now we'll start with Antutu benchmark and we'll also show you the score and also the app loading speeds, but before that we'll do the reboot test. So let's see which one actually boots up faster. So now if we go into reboot and let's see which one actually would reboot faster, and then we would talk about each and every application that we open. So the boot speed is a little better on the Realme 7, not by a huge margin, but it was still better on the Realme 7 when compared to the Poco X3. Now we'll start opening the application, starting with Antutu benchmark 1, 2, 3. So here Antutu benchmark in fact loads faster on the Realme 7 by half a second. But let's check out the scores, and that's where the difference would be. You can see that CPU is better on the Poco X3 while the GPU is actually much better on the Realme 7, and that is what the specs also mention, that the specifications say that the GPU clock speeds and the performance is better on the Helio G95, and that is clearly seen here in terms of the at least the benchmark scores. Now we'll open PUBG Mobile, and this is the Korean variant, guys. We are not actually playing or using the PUBG Mobile global variant because that is banned by the Indian government, and we are supporting the decision for now, so we are not going to open that app. And this is the Korean variant, so there is some difference with the gameplay, and also the game mechanics are the same, but still it's not the same lobby that you find, so we are not going to play the PUBG Mobile global variant for now. Now with the app loading speed, which is actually important here, let's see which actually would open the app faster. So it was a little faster on the on the Poco X3, not on the Realme 7. And now if we go back to the home screen and open the next application, that's the Geekbench app. So this is the Geekbench, which loads a little faster on the Realme 7. Now going to the Asphalt 8, the next game. On one game it was a little faster on the Poco X3, but now let's check out the next game. So here there's a difference with this one, and of course we couldn't reach the same screen, but it was not a lot of difference here. Now going back to the home screen from here, you could see Facebook here now. So Facebook loads a bit faster on the Realme 7. Now moving to Twitter. On Twitter as well it was a bit faster on the Realme 7. Now moving on to YouTube, and YouTube as well loads a bit faster on the Realme 7, and it now seems like a generalized case where Poco X3 is slower on most of the applications except for the large ones like PUBG Mobile. Here as well you could see that the Realme 7 took a bit lesser time, but it was still faster, clearly faster there. Prime Video exactly the same time, no difference there. Now the last one is Netflix here, so let's see Netflix, which one. Again Realme 7, you could see that Realme 7 was a bit faster. Now because all the applications are in the background, now let's open PUBG Mobile and see if it reloads. No, there's no rebooting or there's no killing of the app in the background. The same thing we would do with the Asphalt 8 as well, and there's no reloading here. So there's no issue with the reboot here, and both the apps are well staying in the background. Like, otherwise that was not the case with the Realme 7 Pro, because there the app had restarted on the Realme 7 Pro, but not here. The PUBG Mobile game in fact had restarted there. So we'll keep opening the applications once again and see if there's any restarting. Here it does restart, because otherwise it would have stayed on the same. No, it actually stayed on the same screen, but it still had restarted, so took you back to where it was, but restart. So here it did restart on the Realme 7. Now going to Facebook, again it reloads on the Realme 7. Netflix, it reloads here. So with the Realme smartphone, while the app opening is quite fast, not all the applications are staying in the background that easily. Now, if you're talking about the overall performance or the gaming of it, whether you should choose one phone over the other for its gaming and its capabilities, I would say the GPU on this one is so strong that it can actually handle things pretty well, the Helio G95. But the Poco X3 also has quite a good GPU. Even though the scores don't say that, if you talk about the benchmark scores here, the scores don't say what they should actually say. But based on my personal opinion, based on my usage for a long time and playing games on both the smartphones, I can say the Poco X3 is not really different when we talk about the graphic performance. And so before we end this, one of the things that we usually show in our speed test comparisons is the graphic performance that is possible on these two smartphones. So with the Poco X3, you can see that it has smooth and ultra and HD high, that is 30 fps at HD and 40 fps at smooth. Now if we look at the same on the Realme 7, even though the chipset in fact is capable of even smooth and extreme, it is not going to offer the same because the company is going to restrict it at smooth and ultra. That's 40 fps on smooth and 30 fps on HD. So that's the same graphic performance being supported on both the smartphones, but with the gaming also there is not a lot of difference. But if you're talking about gaming itself, the battery is going to be much better on this one. Also the heating control is going to be much better on this one. So that's two differences that are between these two smartphones in terms of gaming. Otherwise with the gaming performance, there's not a lot of difference between the two phones. So that's it guys, this was the speed test comparison of the Poco X3 and the Realme 7 smartphones. I hope you like this video. If you do share and subscribe to Gizmo Times for more. Thanks for watching and see you next video.